To Ukraine now, where dozens of people are feared dead after a school where they were sheltering was hit by a Russian bomb. It happened in the Luhansk region of eastern Ukraine, where there has been fierce fighting. UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss said if civilians were deliberately targeted, the bombing would be a war crime. Sejal Carrier has this report.
There had been nowhere left to hide when the missile hit. The last refuge for almost an entire village had been a basement of what was a school. Buried beneath the rubble, 60 people, now feared dead. The small village of Bilarovika in the Luhansk region of the Donbass is just a few miles from the front line and has come under relentless bombardment. In an overnight address, President Zelensky spoke of the evil of the Russian regime.
Only the armed forces of Ukraine and the resistance of our people can stop this inhuman invasion. It's barbarism that has missiles, but has nothing to do with people.
The last bastion of that resistance in Mariupol is the embattled unit of Ukrainian fighters, sheltering in tunnels in the sprawling Azovstal steelworks. With the remaining civilians evacuated, 2,000 soldiers are still holding out, bracing themselves for an intense Russian assault. From a bunker beneath the plant, their lieutenant held a rare and remarkable press conference.
And the surrender for us is unacceptable because we cannot grant such a big gift to the enemy, because for the members of the Azov, being captured means being dead.
It's a defiance undermining Russia's invasion and one which they severely miscalculated. But it hasn't stopped Putin's forces from keeping up their unrelenting attack on towns and cities across the region, including this one in the southern port city of Odessa. No casualties reported, but Russian troops here are battling hard for a Kremlin desperate for some measure of victory. Sejal Carrier, ITV News.
Well, we can speak now to our correspondent Carl Dinnan, who's in Moscow. Carl, world leaders are trying to put more pressure on Russia ahead of a very important day for Mr. Putin tomorrow.
That's right. It's Victory Day here tomorrow, a politically important moment when Russians commemorate the defeat of Nazi Germany. But the White House in Washington is trying to rain on Vladimir Putin's parade, announcing a new set of G7-wide sanctions, including a ban on anyone providing financial services to Russia, also announcing that 1,000 global companies have now withdrawn from the Russian market in one way or another. And the White House in Washington also saying that Russia's two main tank factories have had to cease production because of Western sanctions. All through the weekend, as you've seen, there have been rehearsals for the big parade that will rumble through Red Square tomorrow. Vladimir Putin is expected to say something significant. He usually does. Now, the Kremlin have already denied that he is going to announce a wider war against Ukraine or a mass mobilization of Russia's reserves, but he doesn't really have a victory that he can point to either that is particularly convincing. So the big question here tonight, what will Vladimir Putin say tomorrow?
More than 60 people are thought to have been killed after a Russian bomb hit a school in eastern Ukraine. It comes as the US First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, makes a surprise trip to Ukraine, meeting with the wife of the president, Volodymyr Zelensky. All this as Russia prepares to mark the annual Victory Day in Moscow. There are signs that Russia is stepping up its offensive in the eastern Donbass region of Ukraine, just a few hours before the annual Victory Day parade is due to take place in Moscow. More than 60 people are feared dead after a Russian bomb hit a school where the people had been sheltering in Luhansk. The Russians are also continuing their intensive shelling of the Azovstal steelworks. More people have been evacuated on Saturday. Meanwhile, Dr. Jill Biden, the wife of the US president, has visited Ukraine and met with the wife of President Volodymyr Zelensky. And Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in the country too.